Hey everybody, we're here for today's live love stream, and I'm Sandy Rakowitz, and we are going to be talking and doing healing with the Akashic Masters today. And we're going to see what they have to say and see who shows up today and what kinds of things you would like to share and find out about. And I like to look at patterns. So that's something that comes to me, and I like to go delve in deeply to understand more fully, to look at the whole picture. And working in the Akashic Records is a perfect place for that. And there have been a number of things that I've been seeing through the week, not only for myself, but also with my clients. I've taught 3 different classes today and this week, and been seeing a variety of clients. And so I get to see what emerges in terms of patterns and common themes across who's showing up and what's happening in the world or in the community of our country, the community of our world, and also with the people who show up with me. And so there's a couple of different themes, and I often, for years, for couple of decades, I've worked with the color gold. I've worked with many different colors, and gold has been one of those colors. And it has definitely been up again for different people. Gold is a color of transformation. It is a protector. It is strengthening, solidifying. It acts as a transductor of energy, a transformer of energy, a transductor from one state into another. So how that works with thoughts and feelings is it's not just your thoughts, it's how your thoughts are connecting into and with the divine. And it can shift from one state into another through the color of gold. This may, for some people, that may sound strange to you, but this is one of the things that I have found. And of course, gold is connected with money, right? With deep value, with something that is precious, and with abundance, with a sense of abundance. And so that is one of the themes that I've been actually, there's several themes in there. There's working with the color gold, being with the color gold, being with a sense of abundance, with whether it's money, abundant love, abundant respect, abundant compassion, and how that moves through you as an individual. We often think of those things individually, but it is also the collective and the belief systems that are held in a culture and around the world, and what happens with those things. And so involved in all of that is also a sense of empowerment or power, or feeling a lack of power. And certainly in the US this week, there's been so much about the use of power and force and what happens with that, with not having respect, not having a sense of compassion, not having a sense of love. Both sides of that, not just both sides, but a spectrum of what that means for people. Hi, Carol. Thinking of you. I don't know why the video won't play. Sending love. Well, if you're able, log out and come back in. But if you're able to type in, it should be able to get seen for you. And So these are all things that I'm curious about from the perspective of the Akashic Masters. And one of the things that people come to me in both private sessions and also in classes and groups that I run is about money, about prosperity, about wealth, about abundance, or feeling a sense of scarcity. And so all of these things are definitely related. And there's a connection, because when you feel a sense of fullness and abundance, that your needs are met, that there's respect, that there's kindness, that there's compassion, that helps fill us up. That helps meet some basic needs of survival, of connection and love. And from there, you can gain a sense of empowerment through that. Through the heart, there's understanding and compassion and kindness. And all of these weave together in a sense of respect, a respect for yourself, a respect for another, not tuning something or things out because it's too much. And so we like the ideas of loving, generosity, abundance, prosperity, but kindness and compassion, but we don't always experience it. We haven't always felt it. Not everybody grew up with it. And certainly in our culture, there's so much that is shown that is not that. There's things that we can find that are kind. It's worth saying over and over these words because they hold keys, they hold codes, and so much power. So the more we bring these words into our vocabulary and use them on purpose, it's helpful, especially when you don't know them really, and I'm moving my body like that for being able to let the space into our cells, into our muscles, into our heart, into our head, into our thoughts, of what all of that feels like, what it could be like if all of those things are working together in concert, like an orchestration together inside of each of us. Imagine how different the world is, and the ways in which you have experienced that in different places with different groups of people, or with someone that you know, or that you have felt and experienced that rapport, that reciprocity between you and another, and how delicious that is, and how much that can fuel you and inspire you. And so if anybody has some questions, these are the things that were coming to me to talk about, to bring forward. But if there's things that people have questions about, we'll see how this all weaves together. You can put them in the chat, and I'm not seeing anybody writing anything else, so I'm just going to connect a little bit more deeply. That was not just me speaking, but me speaking these, finding the words for the energy that's coming in around these topics from the Akashic Masters. And so let's all take a deep breath together. Feel your feet. Breathe into your heart, inviting your soul to make an even deeper heart connection. Letting that open in and through your own heart space, through your chest, through your body, letting that drop down into your center, all the way down into the earth, letting that rooting be connected from your soul and how it comes through you in your personality, in your beingness here in this particular lifetime. And hi, Becky. I'm glad the video is great. Thank you. And I think it often depends upon people's connection with the internet. And letting those energies come in and through you and move through you, through your energy field, pulsing of energy information as it comes in through your soul, coming into your body more fully. So I call this incarnating, so we can come into our own incarnation more and more fully in every moment if we decide and choose to do that. Every time we learn something new or have an aha or gain a new insight or shift something, what the guides are saying is that is indeed you evolving, you expanding, you shifting every time you learn and grow. It may not come to your awareness, but let this be known by us saying this and you hearing this right now, for you to recognize that it is time for you to give yourself this credit that each and every time that you learn something, that you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I was just able to behave or act differently. I was able to move my thoughts differently. Something released off of me, something shed. That is your soul coming through you in this lifetime, in your time here on earth, through this body being, learning something new. That is your soul showing up. That is you showing up in learning, not just on a personality level, but that is the greater you showing up and coming through. And that this is a great act of self-kindness, they say, for inviting growth, for inviting learning, for inviting a new perspective, for inviting and opening into having aha moments. Because when you have an aha moment, your brain, they're saying, they just showed this movement so that your brain, as you have an aha, something happens across your brain hemispheres and opens in a way that is not your regular pattern of habitual thinking and emoting and behaving. And that these moments, that you can call them in and invite them in. And so this is true, they're saying also, that you can call in and work with the energies of abundance and learn from it and what that means. Any of these words, abundance, prosperity, compassion, empowerment, kindness, that you can work directly with that with yourself. So one of the things that I'm very curious about is sort of the what's coming to my mind are like the codes of how these things have been held. Why it's been so challenging for so many to have experiences of a sense of abundance in connection with money, to have a sense of abundance in connection with feeling empowered and knowing our own internal deep sense of power without having it be at the expense of another, right? So that we all have this capacity for being And when I say power, I mean it's in terms of our own unique strengths and allowing what is in us and wants to work its way through us to be present, that is strength, that is power. And it is that it can be used for support, collaboration, compassion, connection, and upliftment instead of power over another, right? And so many fear, I know in my classes, so many fear the word power, even just thinking about the word power, because it has so many negative connotations. But when you are able to be both, what the guides are saying, both playful with it, which can only come when you feel safe enough to explore with it, that you can unlock how it's been held in you and how it's been used over you and how you've used it over another, how it has been held in a locked in place so that you, and they're showing me like locked in, like right in your third chakra is what they're showing me right now. It's related with other areas in different ways. Each chakra holds its own places of power in distinct ways that all can work in concert together. But as you work in the when it's locked, you're okay. So what they showed me is when this locking in, it keeps a door shut in a sense to your own sense of power, like a central sense of power in connection with your soul, in connection with source. And when that happens, your sense of self, you feel disconnected. You can feel helpless. You can feel powerless, like the other end of that spectrum, because of the ways in which it's kept held down, in, back, locked, as if they're saying it's behind locked doors, and that it's been so feared because across millennia it has been used in unwieldy ways. And they're showing me scenes of battles and anger and force and misunderstandings, much like what does still happen today in various ways. And it's when the sense of empowerment is in shadow that happens, or when someone is what they're showing me is, as someone is using power over another in force, that there is layers, and even they're saying eons of how this has played out. And there is a disconnection inside of themselves. There's also great fear. And these two things can create that type of unwieldy force very easily. They can become very combustible, explosive, and are very much in shadow of not honoring the heart of each human being, the heart of each sentient being, the heart of the earth, the heart of nature, and how important each aspect is together. And that generosity doesn't flow from that place. Generosity doesn't flow from a place of things held down and locked in interesting term, locked down. You know, we've all been in various forms of lockdown through the year with COVID. And so it's always so interesting that the words that get used to describe different situations, right? And so part of our challenge is finding these places inside of ourselves and being able to then give generously, lavishly to ourselves and what is all around us all the time, but that when we are in, use that word again, locked down in our third chakra or in any of our aspects of ourselves, that we lock out. When we lock down, we also lock out the abundance and the pleasure and the joy and compassion and honoring that is available for each and every one of us at any given moment. So they're doing some clearing of how that's held among us. And there's in this clearing, the way in which they're clearing, there's a lot of, if you watch my fingers, hopefully you can see my fingers, that there's a lot of fluid movement that they're bringing in, because in lockdown there's a lack of sense of fluidness. And so the qualities that are needed are part of the medicine, things that our systems haven't been feeling as much. They're just showing me like overlays of violence and overlays of how abuse has been held, and victim perpetrator sense and sense of identity. I'm just seeing lives, not mine, but like scenarios, like a movie, like scenes from movies of, different types of violence across the centuries. So that these don't have to be held in our collective memory of how things have been, so that we can create anew. And one of the things that I've been seeing, and I'm seeing it right now, again, another range is different qualities of new energies streaming in. And so in the midst of what has been locked down, I don't have a name for what it is, but it has like a sense of freedom and fluidness in it. As this opens, these new energies, sort of like an egg. This might not be the best metaphor, but that's what I just saw. Like a crack opening, and not just something emerge. Okay, so it's multiple things. So it's like something new emerging to grow out, like a new life emerging out. Okay, so symbolically, and energies coming in like streams. So if you can feel this right now, each of you watching, whether it's live or on the recording, that there's streams, like columns, but it's like in streams of light coming in. One of the ways that I see the new energies, it's like streams coming in. I did a painting, I don't know, a week or two ago that was very different than what I normally do, because I was painting these fine, thin streams of light coming in and washing around a heart. like the heart, my heart, our hearts, the heart of all of us. But now it's coming into the third chakra, through the heart, all the way down into the third chakra. When I paint, what I've been finding, I didn't grow up being a painter or sketching or drawing. I tried, didn't like, didn't like what I was seeing that came out of me. But now, in the last few years, what's been happening, especially since working with watercolors, it's like painting the frequencies, painting the colors, painting the transmissions, painting the unseen world, painting sort of like animals in their cosmic state, elephants and cheetahs and horses, lots of horses, of course, for me, and coming in as Pegasus and horse angels, and I have been leading people about this into painting from this connection as a way to quiet the mind. It does so many different things, as a way to connect with the divine, as a way to connect with your heart and what is really in your desires, as a way to connect into what is wanting to work its way through you, so that it has another outlet, just besides trying to come through your mind, which sometimes doesn't always want to let these thoughts come through. Again, it knocks up against old beliefs about being crazy and hearing voices and being too out there and whatever all of those things are. And so it counters all of that. It supports you in allowing that more dreamy state, meditative state, intuitive state, and facilitates that. And then we let that map come out and be present, like the what keeps coming through creates the map, and then work with how we can live that medicine, how we can live that information, that these new streams of energy that contain so much healing and what's needed for each individual as well as collectively, and how that we see how it ripples out in each person's lives. It's so phenomenally exciting to witness that unfolding, that movement, that shifting and development at such deep levels. One person I got an email from this morning, or a message from somebody this morning and who's been working with me over a long period of time, and said, I feel like I tapped into the soul of creativity. Is that possible? Or something to that effect. And it's like, yes, yes, that's it. That's part of what we're doing, so that we get that connection. And so that we can find those ways of allowing the expression to come through us, through our voice, through our heart, through channeling, through your intuitive connections, through your conversations, through the rapport that you create, through the classes you conduct, through your relationships with your friends or your family, with what you write, with what you create, with whatever it is you're doing in the world. That is the vehicle through which you bring your expression and have the capacity for the uniqueness of who you are. So as I'm talking, there's like a shedding of how things have been contained in I use the word container in many different ways. In this sense, it's like holding in, holding back, holding away, withholding kind of container. And again, there's all this fluid energy and movement. So I would be curious to hear how this is with those of you who are watching live, what you're feeling, how images that are coming to you, ahas, understandings, whatever that is that might be happening for you. I see a couple more people have joined in. Hey, Krista, Eve. One of the things that's been happening this week that's been so interesting, and it's fine, it's just interesting for me, is people are going into very deep, quiet spaces and not right away being able to voice what's happening, not able to have the words for what they're experiencing. And it's been interesting to watch the not be dependent on what people say, right? That's what I teach, that it's what's going on for you, and just go with that mojo and go. And I trust that this is making a difference. I see it make a difference all the time, every day, not only for myself, with my clients, people who come into my programs, and now through this live love streaming. So the word harmony keeps coming back to me, of that when we, what the guides are saying about that is that as we unlock these places that we've withheld inside of ourselves, not only from others, but from ourselves, of experiencing that, as that opens and comes out of that egg, so to speak, as new life, or like a flower growing up from a seed anew, that beauty and harmony are created from this space. And from this space, there is a sense of abundance that can be had, that can be experienced, and it changes how things have been held, like the locking in of perspectives of how things have been, and what is possible for each of us, and the importance of us continuously recommitting to this place inside of each of us for our own movement, growth, understanding. And they're saying, and that is you evolving. And each individual, as each individual creates that evolving movement for themselves, that affects each other. And you create that ripple. It creates a different wavelength, right? Than that sense of lockdown, or that sense of power, struggle, right? That's in shadow. It creates a different frequency and vibration. And they're saying that it is much more fluid. People can disagree, but still find connection and points of common grounding, contact and respect and honor, without having to discount someone, without having to use fear or force over someone. So just even saying those words, I could feel it. Things coagulate, so they're just moving that energy, streaming it. They're using that word differently. Oh, so last week I was saying I'm not used to the movement sideways when I'm doing healing. Usually it's like up and down or in and out, but it's now there's a streaming, and they're saying it's another, it's like another frequency of streaming that goes around. And that it goes back and forth, and it goes circular and into spirals, and all of that creates movement. And gold is also about making changes and shifts easily. So this is part of how we can do that. And that's all steadying and stabilizing. So we thank you, dear Lords and Masters of the Akashic realms, all the divine beings of light and love. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for the wisdom, for the healing energies, for the understanding, for the container, for bringing us together, for assisting us in this self-knowing, self-discovery, self-growing, evolvingness for ourselves and for the greater whole, and uplifting and evolving. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we close. And so it is. Amen, amen, amen. And so if you're not already following me, please share this video once it's posted, the recording of it. Please share that love, share this healing, share this information, the connection that comes through this. Follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, Sandy Rakowitz, One Heart Healing Center. And I'm always running private coaching classes, series, programs. So for those who would like to get additional support, either one-to-one or in small groups, most of the things that I do are with smaller groups, although they're growing, and to contact me through Facebook or wherever you're watching this, through my website or my email, Sandy Rakowitz and onehearthealingcenter.com. Thank you, everyone. Blessings for you through your day and week, and I will be back next Friday at noon. Bye for now.